Yeah, hi everyone. We're just getting the Zoom webinar set up, and we'll be with you in a couple of seconds. I'm going to start this on Facebook Live as well, so if everyone wants to watch on Facebook Live, they can do that as well. We're live on Facebook.
Oh, we've got 49 participants. I can see that. Okay, great. All right, everybody. Well, good evening. My name is Meg Nolan Van Riesma. It is now 7:06 p.m. on February 8th, and I would like to formally call the annual meeting of the Old Greenwich Association to order. Thank you all for attending. This is the first annual meeting we've had in a couple of years. Please note that we are recording this for those who are unable to attend, and we will post it on our website so you can see it later in the week. And as Mark just mentioned, it's also on Facebook Live. Given the climate of the last couple of years, unfortunately, we haven't been able to hold an annual meeting in person, but we are thrilled to have such participation tonight. And we have a whole host of agenda speakers that I think speak to the issues that are here and going on in our town and how committed we are as the Old Greenwich Association to represent them and give them voice and augment them to town hall, and hopefully encourage all of you to participate as well in helping get the issues that you care about in front of the right people down at town hall. I have been the president for the past 7 years and have enjoyed my tenure, and I'm so appreciative that despite having this dormant period during the pandemic, that we have found a resurgence and that we will go forward. And there are, as I said, lots of things that we can focus on. And I think there's been a renewed spirit, even more so in community. And I appreciate that that is something we can kind of turn and take out of this pandemic. And I'm grateful for Old Greenwich, and I'm grateful for all of you for being motivated and interested and ready to improve everything that we can. That said, I'm going to introduce our treasurer, Chris Lang, right now to give you the financial updates that we have over the past couple of years. Chris?
Great, thanks, Meg. Appreciate it. My name is Chris Lang. I've been the treasurer for the last couple of years for the OGA. I'm going to try and share my screen to give a brief summary of our financial condition right now. 1 second. Okay, hopefully everyone can see my screen. This outlines essentially our cash balance from last time we had an annual meeting, which was about 2 years ago, where we had a balance of $14,891 in cash. And since that time, it's been pretty inactive, I would say, through COVID. So we typically raise contributions around the annual meeting, and we typically raise around $5,000 to $6,000 per annual meeting through the mailings that we send out. Over the last 2 years, we only raised $243 since we did not mail out any fundraising materials in connection with our annual meetings. And then we also try to keep our expenses as lean as possible. We had $754 of D&O insurance. We had $263 of community event and donations. We had $546 worth of website and mailing costs. And then we had $200 of Connecticut incorporation fees that we pay every year. So that left us at $13,370 as of the end of last year. So that's the current financial condition. I would note that in a more typical year, we have $5,000 to $6,000 of contribution income, and we'll have the annual meeting that we hold in person will typically run around $2,000, most of which is the mailing cost and the printing cost for sending out the invitations to that meeting. And then the balance is grants that we give to community organizations and typical kind of like our website costs and our PO box costs and things like that. So I would encourage everyone, since we did not send out the mailers this year, to go visit our website. And on our website, you'll find a link to contribute to the OGA. And hopefully that will be an effective fundraiser around this annual meeting. So I'll throw it back to Meg at this point.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. As our finances show, and Chris made clear that we are a lean organization, and our goal is to serve as a voice to the issues that come up in our neighborhood, and that those that our members bring to us, and then obviously support local organizations who require funds. And so we appreciate your donations and are always open to suggestions of where our funds should go. They are there to serve our members' needs. I also want to take a quick one more second to just tell you all that it has been my great privilege for the past 7 years to be president of this association. I have met so many interesting community leaders and have enjoyed very passionate conversations with those who care about our neighborhood. And it has really lent to me a very personal connection to where we live. And I encourage all of you to also get involved in the Old Greenwich Association, because the pride that is gleaned from being not only civic, but involved with your neighbors, alongside your neighbors, doing everything from planting tulips to hanging Christmas lights around lanterns to handing out flags on Memorial Day, really does extend the feeling of pride in where you live. And there's no price that can be put on that. And so I just want to formally say to all of you that are here tonight that I'm so grateful that I was able to be a part of this organization at the top position. And with that said, I am now going to introduce a motion where we now vote for a new slate of board directors and new positions. I believe there's some formal language with which I'm supposed to do this, so forgive me if I incorrectly do it. But I think I have to say that I would like to present a motion, and I need another board member to acknowledge that motion. So Chris or Mark, or whomever can, Mark, can you maybe help me acknowledge this motion?
So moved.
Okay, thank you. So the election of officers that we will have are for, first we will read the board of directors. And the officers are Victoria Young, David Johnson, Chris Dodaro, Charles Lee, and then myself, Magnolia Van Riesma. And then as treasurer in remaining position will be Chris Lang. Secretary remaining position would be Mark DeCray. Vice president now incoming is Darren Schneider. And then the president is Carolyn Peterson. So I think we have figured out that we can put all in favor with hand raises on Zoom. Can we do that, Mark?
Yeah, everyone should be able to raise their hand to signify a yes vote. Secretary, I'm counting those votes. I'm just waiting until we get a quorum of the meeting. We need just a couple more votes and we'll be good. So yeah, you can see on your Zoom meeting on the bottom, it should say raise hand. Okay, we're good now. Yep. So the motion's been approved. And everyone can
Yay,
click.
thank you.
Everyone can click lower their hand. Thank you,
Well,
everyone.
thank you very much for that. And with that, I will pass the baton to the very deserving hands of Ms. Carolyn Peterson.
Thank you, Meg. And thank you, Meg, so very, very much for years of devotion and for the opportunity. I look forward to it. And I'm very, very excited to help lead with this team and including a new member, Victoria Young. So this is going to be wonderful. We have a lovely evening for you that we will move through with 10 speakers, actually, who've all said yes, please, that they can speak with us tonight. So consider this informational for the evening. Any questions that you may have, please put them in the Q&A on the side. We will make sure to get back to all of them in due course. Unlikely this evening, just for the matter of time, we want to keep your attention and keep you wrapped with updates on everything that's going on around the neighborhood. Some issues you may know about, some may be new, but we want to give you sort of a state of the union, which is why everybody showed up tonight to do that. So without further ado, and I must say, we will come back together. This is an annual meeting. This is sort of a, as I say, state of the union, but we will come back to you. We will reach out to you. We have your email. We hope you will have other friends join the organization. We will get more active on social through Instagram and Facebook. So you will see us some more. And we're going to take this wonderful platform that Meg started with her beautiful website, and we're going to ramp that up with linking. We hope to be the source for a lot of answers and support. So to that end, Q&A, put it in there. We will promise to get back to you. And at the end, I think Mark can put up our website and how to sign up. But without further ado, I should toss it over to our first selectman who is here. Thank you so much, Mr. Camillo. Unmute you.
Thanks, Karen. Sorry about that. Thank you so much. I just ran over from another meeting over on the avenue. Thanks. I don't know what I missed, but I want to thank everybody who's reached out on many different endeavors, including the Sidewalk Initiative in Old Greenwich. Right now, it's before I presented it in the budget, so hopefully people can reach out to our BET members and tell them how important it is to our town. We want people to be out there walking around our neighborhoods and getting out of the house, right? As most of us are working from home. A lot of us are working from home at least part of the day. But we want people to be out there and not being sedentary, but doing so safely. So it's a very, very important initiative. We're trying to, I put it in the budget for many neighborhoods around the town, but have hats off to Maggie Bound and all the people over on Short Road. They really did it textbook style. We told them the history of this, where people in lots of the neighborhoods get together and it seems like a great idea and everybody's on board. And then all of a sudden at the last minute, a bunch of neighbors come out against it for various reasons and it ends up dying. But she and her neighbors really did a great job, galvanizing and getting support and really doing research and talking about how this was actually identified many years ago as a spot, as an area where we needed sidewalks. And also, it's not just sidewalks, it's bump outs, it's crosswalks. So I want to thank them. I also want to salute Representative Meskers, who's been a partner in all of these things, just about every day. And I don't know if Ryan's on here, but Senator Fazio has been tremendous. He just got elected last year and hit the ground running. So it's a great team, but certainly we couldn't do it without you all being front and center. I don't know if you've spoken tonight about the I-95 noise abatement issue, but that group has done a lot of research and work, and I don't know if Patty's on here now, but we've gotten a lot farther than we've ever gotten with the state on this issue for the noise abatement, but we're not where we want to be still. And so, Steve's been the lead in that charge on the state level, and certainly the governor, we've been in contact with the governor and Paul Mounds as chief of staff. They've been great. And Mark Rolfe, the deputy commissioner of DOT. So right now that's, we speak weekly. The proposal is on the governor's desk. And just to cut him a little bit of slack right now, session is opening this week. And he's also in the middle of presenting his budget. So it's not his number one issue. It's certainly one of our number one issues, but we're cognizant of the fact that they've really been responsive to us. So we're talking to them on a weekly basis. But it is right now, if people want to know where it is, it's on the governor's desk. He's aware of where we stand on it. He asked for us to put some skin in the game as far as, whether it's quiet pavement or quiet bridge joints to reduce that decibel level by 10 to 15 points. They've heard us, and so they asked if we could put some skin in the game, and we said we would. I put money in the budget on the town side. We have a lot of residents reaching out to help on the public-private partnership part of it, so that would be the private component. And so we're doing our part, following the governor's advice. Ryan and Steve were in that meeting, and they were forceful but respectful, and it's really gotten a lot farther than it's ever gotten before. But it's going to be a daily battle, so we're going to certainly stay on top of it. And I don't know if there's any other issues you want me to touch or answer questions. I'd be happy to do that.
Thank you, Fred. I think those are the two main things we were hoping that you would touch on, and we're appreciative. I think we have a lot of other interest groups that are going to touch on other things, but it was sort of top line, and we have a Q&A off to the side because we're leaving this sort of informational. We'll get more interactive, hopefully in person again, but just for the purposes of this evening to sort of reintroduce ourselves back after a little quiet time. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.
And I think, Steve, it's over to you. So our Connecticut State Representative, Steve Meskers.
Okay, so first I want to thank you and thank Fred for everything he's doing today. Ryan will be my partner, and I don't mention the entire delegation just because if we're focused specifically on Old Greenwich, Ryan will represent Old Greenwich as well as myself. So I sit with two hats. I represent the shoreline of the entire town. So that's from Stamford to Portchester, basically the post road to the water. Ryan represents all of Greenwich. I also sit on the RTM for District 6. So I represent us in the town. So where you should be coming to me and talking to me, I would think is 95 traffic. When we eventually get to the Old Greenwich School and the rebuild, there'll be a state role in trying to get the reimbursement out of the state capital plans for the rebuild of the Old Greenwich School. This year, I was able to secure some funding for the Greenwich Point Conservancy for the rebuild of the Chimes building. I was very happy to bring that to our neighborhood. I will be split on how much I can do for Old Greenwich versus the entire shoreline. I do represent the entire shoreline, but at the level of the town, whether it's the shore road, et cetera, my advocacy as a member of the RTM will be, complete. You can either reach me directly or you can go through Carolyn. Carolyn's got all my contact, and I always return emails and phone calls. So that's all.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you
Sure.
so much. And I think we're over to Jim Michael of the Department of Public Works from Town Hall, who's going to give us a presentation of their efforts and plans for us.
Thank you. I'm going to share my screen really quick here. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on. Okay, there we go. So I'm just going to fly through my slides here really quick. We have a lot going on, and I'm going to hit on all the stuff that's going on in the Old Greenwich area that's going to impact you. So a lot of you may know this is the Sound Beach Avenue Bridge. This bridge has been in the forefront for quite some time. We have a contractor on board, and they are looking to start the work in March of this year. And so from March until hopefully by the 4th of July, they will be rebuilding this bridge, and it will hopefully be substantially complete by the 4th of July. So that's what this project is. We've had many meetings about this. This is kind of just a rendering of what it's going to look like. The scope of work is isolated to just this area in the middle with replacing the bridge. And I know we've been here for some of you in the past about a possible intersection modification. This is just the bridge project. It's replacing the bridge. It's raising the bridge slightly for flood capacity, reconstructing the curbs, sidewalks, et cetera, associated with that bridge, and then doing a significant amount of landscaping, what a lot of people call the reading room, which is the corner there kind of opposite the library. Another project that we're looking at as part of doing this bridge project, we've done some of our condition assessment of the sidewalks around Binney Park. And so we're going to be replacing some of the sidewalks that are in the area along Binney, along Sound Beach Avenue here, and also extending some sidewalk down Wescomwood that will tie in eventually with the Wescomwood Road Bridge, which will be the next thing. A couple of things to note. We did have to go to planning and zoning recently because it is a scenic road in this area, and we had to discuss a few changes. We're going to be adding what we call RFBs. So if you think of the flashing lights that are in front of Old Greenwich School and in the downtown area, we're going to be putting those, one near the library, one set of those near the library for that crosswalk there, and then one set near the church cemetery park area. So we're going to be looking to do that, hopefully. We're going to be doing decorative crosswalks that are similar to what's in the downtown area as well through this area, and making ADA ramps and so forth. So the next project that will be coming up, which will be either in the fall or next spring, is Wescomwood Road Bridge. That's a bridge that is just to the, just carries Wescomwood Road over where the brook or where the pond from the upper portion of the park connects to the lower portion of the park. So we're going to be replacing that bridge. It's really just the bridge replacement. Both of these bridge projects are due to the condition of the bridge getting to a poor condition. We're going to be adding a crosswalk and sidewalk connection to a couple spots here at the intersection near the bridge, which will hopefully help to tie in some of that pedestrian pathways. So there's that. Eastern Greenwich Civic Center, I'm not going to steal Mr. Johnson's thunder here. So this is a project that Public Works has in their repertoire of projects that we're dealing with. So you'll hear more about this coming up, but Public Works is significantly involved in this project as well. Many of you, if you live over in the Oval Summit area or travel that area, we've been working on the Old Greenwich Common Force Main, the sewer work. That's a sewer project that we replaced. We're going to be, the sewer work itself is 99% complete. So we just have one little bits and pieces left to be done. We are going to be repaving Oval and Summit. However, we have been informed by Aquarian that they want to do a water main replacement on Oval and Summit. So they're planning to get that work started the beginning of the year, meaning once the asphalt plants reopen in May or April timeframe. So they're going to be doing the water main project, and then we will be doing the final paving of the road, probably late summer, early fall, once their project's complete. Sidewalk Opportunity, this Fred briefly mentioned about this. So we've been working with some neighbors along Shore Road to put together a potential sidewalk that's been identified project. It is Shore Road between Tomac and Sound Beach. It's one of the budget things, which I'll be talking about a little bit later. Old Greenwich Streetscape, that's another budget item that we're working on. We've worked with some of the neighbors. If you've heard anything about our project that we did in Old Greenwich or in downtown Greenwich on Greenwich Avenue near Elm Street, we put some bump outs in that shortened the pedestrian pathways, created safety issues with pedestrian crossings, create better ADA accessibilities, and improve the visual appearance of that by adding some bump outs is what we call them, but they're areas that are landscaped and potential for bike racks and other different features. There is a decent amount of streetscape in Old Greenwich, and it is a pretty nice area, but we are looking at adding a couple additional spots, and that's a budget line item that we put in for this year.
Jim, excuse me, Jim, so sorry. Before you move off of that, just one quick question. The bridge replacements in Vinnie, are they going to remain stone and as?
Yeah, so basically they're going to remain very similar to what they look like today. In general, you know, there's a few different designs we've looked at, but minor modifications, but they will have the stone look and they will have some replication of that. So
thank you.
So if anybody has looked into the way the budget works, what I've done here, this is just the Public Works budget, and this is my sales pitch here at the very end, that the projects in yellow are projects that are townwide that impact and provide projects that could benefit some of the members of the Old Greenwich neighborhood. The projects I highlighted in green here are very specific to Old Greenwich. So you got the Wescomwood Road Bridge, you got Shore Road, new sidewalk, you got the Old Greenwich Streetscape. Those are all projects. I just put my request into your group that if you are interested in these projects and want to see these projects move forward, definitely speak up to your BET members and your RTM members as the budget process goes through. I know that there's a March public hearing again for the BET, and then the RTM tends to review the budget in the April-May timeframe. A couple other little pieces in the Public Works budget you see a couple other things on here, including the Eastern Greenwich Civic Center. So with that, I will wrap up and
And one more
pass it.
question. So sorry, Tim, one more question. The bump out for the streetscape that you mentioned, is that going to take any parking at the avenue?
When we look at that, we try to minimize the parking impacts. Most of the areas that we've been looking at with the Old Greenwich stuff is in areas where the parking is not located. It's already just kind of the striped no parking zones
Okay.
near corners and so forth. So that's what we've been looking at, or near driveways.
Thank you so much. And hopefully, not to put you on the spot, but hopefully if we can publish this on our site.
We can provide it to you, and you can utilize. You can
Stunning. Thank you so much.
go from
Thank
there.
you so very much for this evening and all of that work. We are going to turn to Scott to speak about the Civic Center more specifically. Ooh, let's unmute you. Hold on.
Wait, before Scott speaks, I just had one question for James. James, is all sidewalks now in Greenwich always asphalt? Or is like, or there's cement that can take place occasionally? I know there's probably a cost difference.
So the typical sidewalks that we utilize are in residential areas. We go with asphalt sidewalks with granite curbing. In commercial areas, we go generally with concrete sidewalks. There are a few exceptions when we do differently than that, but we've found that the asphalt, it tends to be a little bit softer look and less invasive looking, and that's why we've used it. And it also allows us to maintain the trees and so forth. I did see in the Q&A there was a question about the Binney Loop. As part of the process, we were looking to change the sidewalks along Sound Beach Avenue from concrete to asphalt that are just adjacent to Sound Beach Avenue along the park side there. And we went through planning and zoning. We received some feedback there. They provided us some recommendations. There's going to be a public hearing. I'm pretty positive it's February 28th. And it's during the day. So I can make sure I get that date and time specifically for you guys to publish out there that we do have to have for that project.
Thank you.
Well, and just lastly, with 4 kids in the public school system, mostly Old Greenwich, thanks for all those painted bricks. They look great in front of the Old Greenwich School. The crosswalks and all that other great stuff looks fabulous. I know it's asphalt, but I think there's an appearance of all the bricks that looks just great for the character of the town. So thank you.
Thank you.
Carolyn,
Yes.
if I might.
Please.
Jim, you know, I know we did the paving on Lockwood, and there's a problem with utility companies, right? So I'm not sure where we are on Shore Road when we get the sidewalk done. But if you get a plan, an execution, I want to lean in on the utility companies to make sure the telephone poles, if they're moving them, they do it prior to, because, you know, we've got double telephone poles on Lockwood on the stuff you newly paved. And I know that's not your fault, but I can lean in on the coordination with utility companies. So if we're worried about that on Shore, I'll make sure, you know, from my side up in Hartford, that you have clean sidewalks to pave and not multiple telephone poles.
Excellent.
Thank you. We'll do our best.
Okay, great.
So Scott, sorry, your turn. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So to echo what Fred said, let me jump right to PET. So the Civic Center's project's been going on for a long time. The last 3 years, we developed plans. Those plans have been approved by all the land use agencies, by MI. And now, starting next week on Tuesday, and then the following Tuesday, we go to PET. And that's really important. What it means specifically is we have to get the budget and the actual costs approved. So last year at this time, the budget was at 18.7 pursuant to a professional estimator. COVID is now, and supply stuff has hit us, so we're now at around 20.3 million plus some additional expenses. And we also have the gift of Cohen's. If you factor all that in, particularly the gift of Cohen's, we probably have $1 million extra in the budget, but we are about 20% over the numbers that BET had previously approved. Not a surprise. The way we got these numbers is I went out to bid. We had 2 RFPs. The RFP for a general contractor had 15 respondents, which surprised us. So it was a very attractive project, heavily bid, competitively bid, numbers from 20 million to 25 million. We're also going to hire a owner's rep who is like a eyes and ears for the town. That owner's rep will be on site all the time, and his job is to prevent cost overruns and mistakes, address questions between contractors and architects. So BET is crucially important. As Meg knows, and everyone else who participated, including Liz Peldunas, who I think is on, we had BET members at almost all of our hearings where we continually said, here's what we're thinking about. Are you guys on board with us? Because we don't want to go forward with a project that's not realistic from a CIP standpoint, meaning the basic budget. And still to this day, we've gotten good support. We do have some conservative members that are going to be budget conscious, but I think we're okay. As of yesterday, we believe we're going to be okay. So the reason we got to where we are now, as you guys probably know, is we did a survey. The survey told us what people wanted. We tried to fit that in realistically with the budget, and that was difficult. So we had to cut a lot of things. When this was started about 15 years ago, we had ideas for hockey rinks, for a field house, for a swimming pool. And what we basically came down to, for a lot of good reasons, is using essentially the same footprint, expanding the size by about 5,000 square feet, but making it way more efficient. So now we have essentially, if you picture the existing gymnasium, we basically have 2 of those. That's 8,000 square feet, each gymnasium. The adjacent space, we're calling an event space, and that can be used for events, conferences, junior league, antiquarian shows, that kind of stuff. It's not intended to just be recreational, but it has that new rubberized surface that you guys have seen in a lot of the colleges and prep schools, which is multi-purpose. So you can put tables and chairs in there, and you can put basketball courts, field hockey, inline skating, volleyball, and just regular basketball, in addition to the adjacent court for 8,000 square feet. And then we have 3, what we're calling multi-purpose rooms that are about 1,000 square feet each. The idea with those is they could be an art studio, a Boy Scouts room, meeting rooms. It can be rented out. It's supposed to be general purpose. It'll have dividers so it can be made into smaller spaces. Then we also have the little catering room that you may remember we had before, modernized. We have new bathrooms, interior and exterior. Actually, if you keep to that slide, I'll get to the slides a little bit. All right, so there's the, stay with that one for a second if you can. That's looking north to the fields. So there's entrances here, but what there's going to be, which is new, is an entrance to an outdoor bathroom. So even if the building is locked, you can go, if you're doing soccer, and get into a locker room or a bathroom. There's also an interior one. One of the challenges is that we're not allowed nowadays to have showers. We're just not allowed to. So we can't have showers. We will have cubbies, but we just can't have showers. So the locker rooms are they're conservative. They're not like high school locker rooms. That's too bad. We wanted to have that. So that elevation right there shows the basic gymnasium, which is a modernized gymnasium. We're probably going to have safety glass or netting. The safety glass is a little bit more expensive. If they don't go for that, we'll have netting. If you go to one of the other slides, Mark, the adjacent space is similar. This is actually the back. The glass space you see in the back there, that's the front entrance, is the offices for OGRCC. Plus we'll have regular Parks and Rec administrative offices. We'll have a lounge area. There's a pretty neat corridor there where we can have tables and chairs. And the idea with that is it can be kind of a hangout area for kids waiting for rides. So this is the front entrance. There's going to continue to be a circular entranceway where you can drop off kids and then go to the parking lot across the street, which is pretty much the same as what we have now. Plus there'll be parking on the southerly side and behind. We were limited. We did not want to increase the size too much because then we would have gotten into double deck parking. So this is that event space. Also, we have grass area in the back where we can have tent space. This is the conventional basketball room. We did go with conventional maple basketball flooring. We don't have any artificial turf in there, although that was heavily debated. We thought about that. That's the corridor that leads to the event space in the gymnasium plus the lounge area. The Parks and Rec offices will be on the right, could be like the beach card office. One of the challenges that we'll continue to be working on is the finishes, so that the finishes are not too institutional. That was a complaint. This is the site plan, aerial view of the site plan. So it shows the parking. Parking to the left is across the street. You'll see there's a cul-de-sac to the south. The culvert to the south along the railroad tracks was cleaned out to eliminate flooding. There's no development in the back. The tennis courts stay. The children's play area stays. No encroachment on the playing fields. We're not reducing any of the playing field space. And we're minimizing the cutting of the trees, although there will be some that come down. Some on that southerly border, believe it or not, that's an easement to a property behind it that's basically unusable, but we couldn't go all the way to the train tracks. So again, we've gotten all of our approvals other than the final budgetary approvals, and that's going to occur hopefully in the next 2 weeks. We have to do something called interim financing, a request for interim financing, which means we're going to go to the RTM to get some of the additional money for the budget overages. And I think that's going to be between $3 and $4 million. But again, with the Cohen gift, we should have $1 million extra over expectations. So if the budget now from a cost standpoint goes to say $24 million, we can take the original number and add the Cohen number and eliminate some other things, then we're certainly within expectations. This site plan here will show you all the offices, will show you the catering area, which is not large, but it's going to have modernized, more efficient equipment. So after we get BET approval, we're going to need subsequent RTM approval. We don't anticipate a problem, but it's important. So if we don't get that funding, the project will be in trouble. And that means what we don't want is for the project to be delayed for several reasons. One, the contractors are telling us that prices are not going to go down in the short term or even say 2 to 3 year term. The Cohen gift has a number of fuses They are on a budget cycle too. So for example, if we delay the start of this project for 3/4 of a year or a year, we can challenge, run into a problem with the Cohen's budget cycle because they need to get a certain money out on an annual basis. If they don't, we go into their next cycle, and that's a whole new world. We don't know where that would get. So we really want to try to get this, continue this on the approval track. We think the cost overages, which are understandable because of anything related to steel, energy, supply chain is understandable. Steel went up 25% itself. So Al Manelli is going to make that presentation on Tuesday to the budget committee, and then the whole BET on Tuesday, the 22nd. So those are important. And so anyway, the design hasn't changed. It's been this way for 2 to 3 years. We're happy with it. We wish we had a couple of other things, but they would have broken the bank. Oh, if you look at this elevation here, we're going to have solar panels.
That's
So-
what we were gonna ask, Scott. Sorry, that was. one of
So
the-
these roofs are gigantic. So if you look at that one right there, to the roof to the right, we can have almost 500 solar panels on there. We need 50 solar panels. So we're going to run into the whole question of how we do solar panels, although the building is designed to accommodate that. So it has standing seam roofs, so they can clip on. It's structurally designed to be able to handle the panels. One of the challenges that we're going to get a proposal from a solar expert is whether to buy them ourselves or to do the program where you have another company own the panels and we basically buy power from them. That's going to be a BET question. That's going to be down the road. It doesn't necessarily add to the cost, but that's going to be not until we have that solar consultant's proposal, because that was just something that we didn't have at that time.
Scott, thank you so much for this overview. This is exactly what we wanted. Just one last question before you actually have to probably move on to the next speaker. The oaks on the north side of the building, are they staying? Do you know? The oak trees?
Yes, they're staying.
Great.
The ones on the south are not all staying. Some of them are coming down because of some of the construction and they're in poor health, according to Dr. Kramer.
Scott, thank you so much.
Oh, I have one quick question. Yeah, sorry, Scott. Yeah, what's the reasoning by not allowing locker rooms or showers in there? Because I'm a scout leader, and right now we have people playing basketball and changing in the hallways. We love being in the Civic Center, but
we were pushing for that, and we were pushing for bigger locker space, and we were told that the town will not allow showers in a youth facility.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm going to talk to the first selectman about that, but that seems kind
I
of
mean,
nuts. So you have a sport,
it's-
you have a place where people are going to have recreation and exercising and won't be able to take a shower at the place. But
It's honestly, it's an easy change order.
yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. I just want to know the reason behind that. So it's great to have you here to tell us. And the building looks gorgeous. It looks great. So appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Perfect. Whoops.
Could,
Sorry.
could I make a quick one?
Very much. Thank you. We are going actually to walk on the sidewalks on shore from the Civic Center, and Matt Deschamps is going to touch on sidewalks on shore. So you've heard about it from Fred at the top, and part of the argument for them is there's going to be more traffic from this beautiful Civic Center. So are you ready, Matt?
Yes, thanks, Carolyn. My name is Matt Deschamps, for those who I don't know on the meeting today. I am a newly elected RTM representative representing our community, District 6. I was asked by Maggie Bound tonight, who's the founder of Sidewalk on Shore, to talk about this important safety project. It was interesting to me. I learned that the safety project of Sidewalks on Shore actually started 20 years ago, which is kind of hard to believe. It was actually also on the Selectmen's Pedestrian Safety Advisory Committee report in 2006 and in 2010, and we haven't gotten it done yet. And this is a long-standing project that the town has been dealing with, and our community has been dealing with. And as I said at the outset, this is a safety project. I want to underscore that. I live on Shore Road with my wife and 2 daughters. For those of you all in the community have seen, pedestrians and school children, parents with strollers and dogs fighting against the traffic that comes down Shore Road with the trucks and cars and 18-wheelers. It's a heavily trafficked road, and we need to make sure we get this sidewalk in place to protect those pedestrians. Fred Camillo has been a steadfast supporter of this project. He's attended every one of the Sidewalk on Shore meetings in person. We just saw him last week, and I want to thank Fred for taking the time to do that. He's got a busy schedule, and it says a lot that he's willing to meet with our community members who are concerned about this issue. He has earmarked $750,000 in the town budget for this project. So it's currently a line item on the budget that's being deliberated literally as we speak by the BET. So today I listened in on the DPW's presentation to the BET. This issue was discussed, and the Sidewalk on Shore group, Maggie Bound, myself, and others wrote a letter to the BET in support of this important project. And why is it important for the folks on this call tonight? It's important that you do the same. It's important that you make your voices heard by writing letters in support of this project. Fred said that at the outset, and that's exactly right. If you can write letters, and we will help you do that by sending out form letters, which I'll send to you, as well as the contact addresses for the BET members. There's also a couple of very important dates, and I'll send these out as well. March 28th at 7 o'clock, there's a BET public hearing. That's an opportunity for you to make your voices heard, and you can speak, and I urge you to do that. It's important to be heard on this project. The BET used a term today called the supermajority. What they're looking for, as I understand it, is a supermajority of residents in our community supporting this project, not just the people on Shore Road, but the people that live in our Old Greenwich community supporting this safety project. So please make your voices heard to the BET. They want to hear about supermajorities. And then there's the RTM public hearing on May 9th at 7 o'clock, which is another opportunity for Old Greenwich residents to make their voices heard in a public setting. You have 3 minutes. You can sign up in advance. You can speak on the fly too if you want to sign up. And I urge you to also consider doing that, as well as writing your RTM members. So I am one of a number of RTM District 6 members. I will also send out the contact list of my fellow colleagues. Many are on this call as participants listening, and I'm sure they're going to be fully supportive of this project as it's so important for our community. So I will send the important dates out. I'll send the important contacts out, and I'll make it easy for you. I know everybody's busy to write letters in support of this project. And I would urge you, as being shown now, to go to sidewalksonshore.org. That's sidewalksonshore.org, and to look at this information with more detail. Maggie Bound has done a remarkable job, and should be commended for the hard work that she and many others have put into this project. And we look forward to getting it done for the betterment of our community. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And we're introducing a lot of issues here. Some may be new to some people, or you may be familiar, but we will make sure that the Old Greenwich Association website links to all of this, and we will make it easy. And we don't want to inundate you with too many emails, but we will construct emails to push out to you, and you'll let us know what you want to get involved in, and we'll take the help. Thank you. Thank you so much, Matt. So we're over to Candace to speak about the Eastern Greenwich Preservation Association.
Good evening. In 2020, the Planning and Zoning Commission designated the loop around the northern section of Binney Park as a scenic road. Rita and Merle Baker, who live on the scenic road, submitted the application and were supported by members of the Eastern Greenwich Preservation Association. So what is a scenic road? Well, the Greenwich Town Charter, also known as the Municipal Code, states in Chapter 3, and I quote, "Scenic roads are irreplaceable resources, the destruction of which has had and will have an adverse effect on the town's historic and scenic heritage." The charter gives the Planning and Zoning Commission the authority to designate such roads. And the charter defines the designation standards and the procedural steps required. It was quite a process, I will say. The application took us forever, and it was costly as well. It is important to note that a scenic road designation and the protections therein apply to the roadway itself and the right-of-way, and not to the public or private land beyond the right-of-way. Yet this can include stone walls, stone bridges, trees, and sidewalks. Now, why is the scenic road designation important? Well, preservation for present and future generations is the goal as stated in the town charter. Additionally, our 2019 Greenwich Plan of Conservation and Development, sometimes known as the POCD, laid out 6 guiding principles. And the number one principle in that POCD is preserve our community character and sense of place. Scenic road designations are one way to preserve community character. The Sound Beach Avenue section of the loop is the entryway or the gateway to the historic village of Old Greenwich, established in 1640. And for many of us, once we are at the Perrott Library and pass by Binney Park and First Church, we have a sense of home and a feeling of gratitude for the beauty and a real sense of place. A scenic road designation provides a layer of protection so that future alterations and improvements of scenic roads shall be carried out as to preserve, and I'm quoting, preserve to the highest degree possible their scenic characteristics. The town charter, okay, so how does it work? The town charter emphasizes the preservation objective. So when significant alterations and improvements are proposed on a scenic road, there must be a balance between safety and preservation of scenic characteristics. Because public hearings are required, there is transparency and communication between DPW, planning and zoning, and the public. So you've heard tonight from James Michael that we have 2 bridge replacements on Sound Beach Avenue and Wescomwood. And both of those came before the Planning and Zoning Commission. And at those hearings, it was great to hear the P&Z commissioners actively suggest some subtle and some important changes to the bridge replacement designs. So it really was an interactive process. And that's what the scenic road allowed for. Planning and zoning then made recommendations to the Commissioner of Public Works, who does make the final decision on changes to the scenic road and made the final decision on the bridge replacements. And that decision was again shared in a public hearing. And then just last week, February 1st, there was again a planning and zoning hearing where the Department of Public Works proposed the sidewalk and curb replacements and some of those changes you saw this evening. Many residents spoke against replacing the cement sidewalks with asphalt. Planning and zoning made recommendations to the commissioner at that meeting, and we are waiting to hear what the decision will be on those sidewalk replacements. And Mr. Michael did mention that he thinks the date is February 28th for that hearing, but I'm assuming we'll get confirmation on all of that. So that's what a scenic road is about. We were very motivated, members of the Eastern Greenwich Preservation Association. We were formed really out of alarm because of all the changes at the train station. And so then there really was a sense of wanting to protect this loop, this scenic loop around Binney Park. And it was complicated. There are 5 other scenic roads in Greenwich. I believe most of them were established in 1992 when this language was added to the charter. Only one is south of the Merritt, and then, really this scenic road is really the only one in more of a more heavily populated area. So we're very proud of that accomplishment. And I think it was Liz Peldunas who said, wow, Binney Park is such a jewel. And in the roadway, the loop around is really just provides, structure and context for everything that aligns that road. The Perrott Library and its wonderful architecture, the historic church, meeting house, and the graveyard with all the important people who are buried there. So it certainly is a lovely area, and we're really proud of that scenic road designation.
Candace, thank you so much to you and your group for that. We can't thank you enough. And thank you for filling everybody in on all of those efforts. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And to Maggie Lang, representing the Old Greenwich School PTA and the efforts there. Thank you, Maggie.
Hi. My name is Maggie Lang. I am the Vice President of Communications for the Old Greenwich School PTA. I have a second grader and a fourth grader at the Old Greenwich School, and I'm here to present the history and the status of the Old Greenwich School renovation. The master facility plan was commissioned by the BET in 2017 to look at the status of all the town building and assets. Old Greenwich School was flagged for having security, safety, and ventilation issues, as well as not being ADA compliant. It is the oldest school building in Greenwich. There was a feasibility study requested by the Board of Ed in the 2018-19 budget, but it was denied by the BET. Then it was approved by the BET in the 2019-20. The study was then completed during 2020-21 school year. The plan was approved by the Board of Ed this past October, and the plan addresses all the major issues, but does not address anything to modernize the building into the next generation learning, but it just covers the major problems that the building has, being so old and not having been renovated for so many years. The price tag of that is estimated at $24.5 million. And this is a mile-high view of the costs. It didn't include any true bidding. But we are hoping to have the design phase of this plan, which is estimated at $1.5 million, approved at the BET vote in March. There was strong support from the public at the last BET public hearing to move forward with the design phase. The timeline is to break ground in 2024 and have a new wing built while the kids can still be in school. The connection of the wing and interior work that would interrupt the classrooms would happen over the summer of 25-26. And keeping the kids in school obviously lengthens the project, but then you don't have to find a separate area for them to be when the construction is happening. Since our feasibility study is already done, we don't see a reason why we should not be green-lighted to go to the design phase. However, with the recent major issues flagged at Central Middle School, we are hoping that this does not affect our project and that the town finds a way to address and handle multiple school projects at the same time, which is clearly needed as many of the buildings are in bad condition. The renovation will address the flooding, security, ventilation. The front stairs will go away, an office will be put in front for security, and an elevator will be added for ADA compliance. There will be a secure courtyard in the back to replace the use of the front plaza area, since it's very exposed into the town. In addition, in the past few years, Old Greenwich School has been flooded with raw sewage during heavy storms because part of the school is below sea level. So when we get a heavy storm, water comes up from the toilets. But that would also be fixed in the renovation, even though it was not flagged in the original ask. So we're hoping that the BET and the town will fully grasp the reality that we are facing regarding our public buildings and stop limiting the funding with respect to the state of our public schools. There's really only an upside to investing in them from a safety, ethical, educational, and moral perspective, not to mention the bottom line, which is the value of our great town. The schools deserve much more than what we are clawing for, and we should be supporting this effort to keep our school structures in line with the reputation that our town must uphold for now and for our future. This starts by passing all of the school improvement projects through the BET and the RTM. And that is what I have to say about that.
Maggie, that was really well put. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Friends of Greenwich Point Park and Wendy, I'm allowed to speak. She's still with us. There you are, Wendy. Hi.
There, can you hear me?
Thank you. Yes.
Great. Thank you, Carolyn, for reaching out to us. I'm Wendy Lowe, president of the Friends of Greenwich Point, and I'm here just to sort of let you know what the Friends of Greenwich Point does, because so many people ask us what we do. So we want to just clarify it. There's the Friends of Greenwich Point, and there's the Greenwich Point Conservancy. The Greenwich Point Conservancy tends to take care of the buildings at the point. They did the Innis Arden Cottage. They're working on the Chimes building. They take care of the buildings. Friends of Greenwich Point, we kind of do almost everything else at the point. We work very closely with the town. For example, some of the things that we do, we feed the birds in the wintertime. We support the Safe Roads Sundays. We have free concerts in the summertime when we can. We provide a scholarship to seniors at Greenwich High School. We worked closely with GEMS to install the AEDs around the point. We provide an annual luncheon for all the Parks and Recs employees to sort of thank them for everything they do for us. We host free educational programs for children, again, when it's possible. We provided the new green and white umbrellas at the snack bar. We developed the informational sign about the purple martins. I don't know if everybody's seen it, but it's a very fascinating information. We distribute a quarterly newsletter. We sell our annual holiday ornaments. We've had 2 comedy shows, which are sort of our fundraisers. We have a very active conservation committee. We've planted new dune grasses. We remove invasives. We've been working on cutting back the vines and removing the invasives. We plant new trees and bushes that are native to the area, as well as bird friendly. Last year, we planted 110 new trees around the point. So we work very closely with the town and Parks and Recs in doing that. We constructed also 2 osprey nests, one that's been inhabited and one that has not been inhabited yet. So those are just a few of the projects that we do. We're always looking for volunteers, particularly our conservation committee is always looking to volunteers to help pull the invasives and get rid of the vines. We love our members. Members help support everything that we do. So that's the Friends of Greenwich Point.
Wow, Wendy, oh my gosh, you're busy. Thank you so much. That is brilliant. Thank you, thank you. And Julie, are you patient? Thank you. Our last speaker is Julie Deschamps from Waste Free Greenwich, which ties in nicely to Wendy's efforts with her organization.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, thank you.
Great, thank you. Hi, I'm Julie Deschamps. I'm the founder of Waste Free Greenwich. Thank you to the association board for the opportunity to share some of Waste Free Greenwich's initiatives. Waste Free Greenwich we're the new kids on the block. We were established a little over 2 years ago to promote waste reduction and diversion strategies for our town through community outreach and education. Connecticut is in a waste crisis, and the cost of disposal to our wallets, our health, and the environment will only grow. Reducing food waste is the key to addressing this crisis, as food makes up more than 22% of Connecticut's trash. On a global scale, reducing food waste is the #1 best way to prevent global warming. So it is imperative that all of us act to reduce our food waste through prevention, donation, and recycling. The town offers residents a voluntary drop-off program to recycle food scraps. Currently, about 5% of Greenwich households participate. To date, the program has diverted over 130,000 pounds of food scraps from the waste stream. Recycling your food scraps is simple and effective. Starter kits are available to make the process even easier. Just collect food scraps at home, then transport the material to one of the 3 drop sites in Greenwich. In Old Greenwich, you can bring your food scraps to Living Hope Church on Wednesday afternoons from 12 to 2. Hope to see you tomorrow. The scraps will be taken to a licensed facility to be processed into a nutrient-rich compost. Small steps have big impacts. Waste Free Greenwich encourages you to participate in the food scrap recycling program, set up a backyard composting system, or hire organics hauler. Volunteer with Food Rescue US to deliver surplus food from local donors to receiving agencies like CCI and Boys and Girls Club for our neighbors in need, and encourage your favorite business to donate. Most importantly, prevent food from going to waste in the first place by adopting food saving practices for storage, meal planning, and shopping using the Save the Food campaign. You can learn more about it on our website. Waste Free Greenwich also promotes GRAB's new textile recycling program, which raises funds for waste reduction education in our community. Over 97,000 pounds of textiles have been removed from our waste stream to be reused or recycled into new products, saving money and resources and reducing our carbon footprint. There are collection bins conveniently located throughout the town, including the parking lot at Eastern Greenwich Community Center. Textiles in virtually any condition are accepted, with a few exceptions noted here. 95% of textiles can be reused or recycled, so please keep this material out of your trash bin. Finally, I'd like to highlight our newest online tool for safely and properly donating, recycling, and disposing of unwanted items, the Waste Wizard, which was purchased through proceeds from the textile recycling program. Simply type the name of the item in question into the text box, and Waste Wizard will provide the best answer of where and how to recycle, donate, or dispose of it. The wizard is available in Spanish, English, and Japanese, and is found online at Greenwich Public Works, Waste Free Greenwich, and Greenwich Green and Clean, or by using the flow code. To discover more about how to reduce waste in your home, please contact us via email. Visit our website, wastefreegreenwich.org, for tips and tools, upcoming events, or to join our mailing list, or follow us on Instagram or Facebook. Thank you so much.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Julie. Thank you so, so much. So we did it. We have heard from everybody. I think, what do you think, Meg? That was good. Thank you. Okay, good. And thank you, Mark, behind the scenes, for making this all happen. You're on mute, Mark. Not muting.
Unmute. There we go.
Okay.
Sorry.
This is Mark. Mark is our secretary. So he is of the board and has been, and the missing link. So Mark, you had a poll you made. If we could keep you guys, everyone stayed on for another moment.
Let's
poll.
let me. So hopefully everyone can see this poll that just popped up. So you could, there's two questions. There's the first question, you can rank, the issues you think that we face the most on Old Greenwich, and then another one, short answer. Once you answer the first part, just what issue affects you most, you think. And thank you for everyone for taking part.
So this is amazing. So we have a lot of follow-up for you. We have a lot of promises to make. Give us a moment, but reach out to us at info. Maybe you want to put that up there also, Mark, but go to our website, Old Greenwich.
Yeah, let me share. I'll share that right now. Yeah.
Greenwich.org is our website. On there you can join for free. Then you become a member. Then you'll be on the mailing list. Then we'll communicate to you. We will start to link, as promised, to all of the speakers from this evening. We will get all of that material on there. And if you are interested in one or all of these, let us know and join us in our efforts, because we need speakers at town hall. We need letter writers. We need to have ourselves represented. That's why we're here. So we look forward to a group effort, and we look forward to more members. So please spread the word. And happily now we can point everybody to the site and have everybody watch this on their own time with all this great information. Thank you, everybody. We good?
Yes, well done. I think we can formally call the meeting to close.
Yep, we've still got a few people answering questions, but yeah,
Shut it down, but
yeah, I'll leave it up.
Mark, what is it saying? So traffic congestion.
Well, yeah, everyone can see that. Yeah, so traffic congestion is first place right now, and looks like OG school renovation, and I'm right behind Old Greenwich School, so that interests me too, and everyone, that that's one of the jewels of Old Greenwich having that great school there. So it's good to see that that's going to get renovated, hopefully in the near future.
Well, I was at Old Greenwich School with my children and was the PTA president there for a couple of years and volunteering like most everybody does. So I've advocated a lot for that project and will continue to do so with PTAC. But we have other things to do besides, but that's great.
Okay, I think we've got about 80% of the people have answered. So I'll give it a few more seconds and we'll then end the meeting and, thank everyone for being here and we'll see more of us in the future.
Yeah, and we hope to hear from you. Please email us
Yep.
anything, any questions, any ideas. We're here for you guys.
So I can share the results here.
I love this. This poll is awesome. It's so fascinating. It's great.
Yeah, they just added a new feature in Zoom. So as a secretary, I did some
Had to
research
do
and
it.
figured that
Well
out.
done.
So.
Well done.
Thank you all.
All right.
Until next time.
Yep.
Okay, let me end the meeting for everyone. Yep. Thank you, everyone. Take
Thank
care.
you. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carolyn.